Hey, Leap Inspire fam, don't you dare click away. This is the story of a woman who turned every no into a reason to fight, every heartbreak into a stepping stone, and every dollar into a dream that lit up the world. I'm Pearl, and my life proves that no matter how heavy the load, you can rise, shine, and inspire. Stay with me for the next 20 minutes, because this tale of grit, love, and redemption will spark something in you. Let's leap into it together. The San Lorenzo Marketplace was a sweltering maze of noise and heat, the sun scorching everything in its path. I stood in the heart of it, a single mom, my arms straining under a styrofoam cooler packed with homemade popsicles, purple yam, mango, coconut, each one made with love the night before. My twins, Mariah and Marcus, 6 years old, clung to my hands, their faces glowing with energy despite the sweat dripping down their cheeks. Cold popsicles, just $1, sweet and refreshing, I shouted, my voice raw from hours of calling out. My blouse stuck to my back, my shoes were patched with glue, but I kept smiling. This wasn't just about selling treats. It was about paying rent, buying school supplies, and holding on to a dream that felt impossible some days. Mariah fanned herself with a piece of cardboard, giggling about a butterfly she'd seen, while Marcus counted coins from our last sale, his tiny brow furrowed like he was solving a puzzle. They were my reason to keep going, even when my body begged me to stop. Across the street, a sleek black SUV pulled up, its polished surface a stark contrast to the market's dust and chaos. A man stepped out, tall, sharp, in a crisp white shirt that screamed wealth. My heart stopped. Alexander? The man I'd loved, the man who'd broken me, the man who didn't know he was the father of my twins. Our eyes locked, and the world seemed to hold its breath. His face softened, tears glinting in his eyes, as he stood frozen on the sidewalk. Mariah tugged my sleeve, her voice small and curious. "Mommy, why is that man crying?" I turned away, my chest tight, memories flooding back like a tidal wave. How do you face a past that still cuts so deep? 6 years ago, I was Pearl Mendoza, 23, a cashier at a Los Angeles supermarket, working 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. at Register 4. The heat from the checkout lane melted my makeup, but I greeted every customer with a, "Good morning, ma'am," or, "Thank you, sir," even when my fingers ached from scanning groceries, or my heart sank from rude remarks. Some customers were kind, like Mr. Tony, who brought me sandwiches every Tuesday, stuffed with butter and cheese. "You work hard, Pearl," he'd say with a fatherly wink. Others weren't so kind. One woman screamed I'd shorted her change by 60 cents, though the receipt proved I hadn't. I recounted it slowly, apologized, and smiled again because I had to. My contract was temporary, with only a month left, and whispers of favoritism among supervisors made my chances of staying slim. I'd overheard Rena, a coworker, muttering, "Some people get ahead by cozying up to the right folks." I ignored it, but the fear of losing my job gnawed at me. Home was a cramped rental in an East LA alley, where I cared for my grandmother, Teresa. She was my everything. Mother, father, best friend, since my mom died in childbirth and my dad left for a new family. Grandma was sick, her frail body wrapped in a faded blanket on a thin mat. I'd bathe her gently, feed her warm soup, and joke about our dream to visit the Grand Canyon. I saved every penny in 2 piggy banks, one labeled bus fare, the other hotel. "You're too much, sweetheart," she'd chuckle, her eyes twinkling despite her cough. But I was serious. I wanted her to see something beautiful before she left me. My own dreams, going to college, writing stories, maybe becoming an author, faded when her illness took over. I'd worked fast food, cleaned houses, sold at markets, and now scanned groceries, all to keep us afloat. At night, I'd read secondhand romance novels, scribbling my own stories in old notebooks, dreaming of a life where I could create something lasting. One day, a man walked into the supermarket. Alexander Villafuerte, 32, CEO of VF Consolidated, the company buying our chain. He was all sharp edges, designer button-down, expensive watch, a billionaire who moved with quiet power. I didn't notice him, just another face in the crowd. But he saw me at register 4, smiling at a customer, and something shifted in him. My, "Thank you, take care," stuck with him, though he didn't know why. He asked his assistant, Vera, to dig into my life. Pearl Mendoza, high school graduate, contractual cashier, low chance of regularization, she reported. Alexander felt a pull, a warmth he couldn't explain. He didn't know my story, but he sensed it was bigger than a checkout lane. My days were a grind. Glue my torn shoes, smile at work, pray for a permanent job. I'd wipe down the register with alcohol during slow moments, trying to keep my space clean, my mind focused. At night, I'd count coins for electricity and water bills, the deadlines always looming. Tears came quietly, not loud sobs, but silent fears about losing everything. One afternoon, my phone buzzed during a break, 6 missed calls from Mrs. Wilson, my neighbor. "Pearl, your grandma collapsed." I ran, took a crowded bus, pushed through traffic, but when I reached our alley, an ambulance was already there. Neighbors stood outside, some crying, some whispering. Grandma was gone. I knelt by her stretcher, sobbing. "You didn't wait. We were supposed to see the Grand Canyon." That night I broke. The woman who always smiled finally shattered, alone in a room that felt too empty without her laughter. At Grandma's wake, a luxury car pulled up in the alley. Alexander stepped out, tall and composed, looking out of place in his polished slacks. "Register 4, right?" he said softly, offering condolences. I was stunned, barely able to nod. "I'm here to help," he said, his voice sincere, giving me a flicker of strength in my darkest moment. We talked briefly, and I shared a memory of Grandma's dream to see the Grand Canyon. He listened, his eyes kind, and for a moment, I felt seen. A week later, HR called. "Pearl, you're promoted to administrative head, full-time with benefits." I laughed through tears, texting Alexander. "Thank you. I don't know what you did, but this means everything." His reply, "You earned it, Pearl." I just gave a nudge. Our connection started small, texts about my day, his dry sealed humor. He'd ask about my favorite dish, jackfruit curry with chili and smoked fish. I'd tease him about his magazine photos. "You look better in person, sir." "Smile more." I'd joke. He'd laugh. "I'll try." As admin head, I visited VF Consolidated's office weekly, nervous in my ironed blouse and old skirt. Alexander greeted me like I belonged, asking about my dreams, sharing his love for simple chicken adobo. Our work talks turned personal. Coffee breaks at a street food stand. Shared laughter over beef stew under a vendor's awning. One rainy night, he picked me up in his SUV. "The seat's not important." "You are?" he said, and my heart skipped. "I envy your smile, Pearl. It's easier when I'm with you," he confessed. I felt the world soften, like the rain was washing away my fears. Our bond grew. Quiet glances, shared coffee, a question about fate. "Sometimes people come into your life and change everything," I said. He smiled. "Would you change mine?" I hid behind my coffee cup, blushing. We'd sneak moments in the office pantry, sipping coffee, laughing about nothing. One evening, he showed up at my place with pork sinigang, his chef's recipe. We talked under the porch light, the conversation turning deep. I know we're from different worlds, he said, but my heart beats for you. I reached for his hand. No promises, just hope. We were falling, not just in love, but into a world where we could be ourselves. But whispers started at work. She's texting someone, Rena sneered. From cashier to admin? She's got a backer. A viral post showed me in his SUV captioned, From register to queen. HR called me in. Are you with Mr. Villa? I admitted. Yes, but I earned my promotion. Alexander faced the board, defending me. She's dedicated, sincere. I love her, and I'm not ashamed. But the gossip didn't stop. Co-workers whispered in the pantry, their eyes sharp. She's playing the CO, one said. My friend Maris defended me. Maybe she's just good at her job. But Rena scoffed. Hard work. You need connections. Then came Luz Vinda, Alexander's mother, a former beauty queen with eyes that judged my every breath. She arrived at our condo unannounced, her voice cold. You married without telling me? To me, she said. Pearl. So simple. Her disapproval was a knife. At a charity gala, she humiliated me in front of socialites. Do you know which fork to use, dear? She mocked, calling me provincial with a smile. I fled, tears falling, my pastel pink gown feeling like a costume. Alexander followed, but Luz slapped him when he defended me. She doesn't belong in our world, she hissed. I stood behind a curtain, trembling, hearing her words tear me apart. Luz hired investigators, searching for dirt, but my record was clean. No complaints, no scandals, just a life of hard work. So she faked a heart condition, guilt-tripping Alexander. You choose her over me? She cried, collapsing dramatically. He grew distant, cold, his eyes heavy with doubt. A staged tabloid photo showed me with a co-worker, Dennis, captioned as an affair. I'd only helped him carry a box, but the headline screamed, Admin affair? Alexander believed it, restricted my movements, treated me like a prisoner. You're my wife now. Every move is scrutinized, he said. I felt trapped, my spirit caged. One night, Luz collapsed during an argument, blaming me. Alexander snapped. What did you do? I swore I'd done nothing, but he didn't believe me. I'm tired of defending you, he said. We take a break, or you sign the annulment papers. I signed, heart shattered, and left, pregnant with twins he never knew about. I moved to a new city, raised Mariah and Marcus alone, selling popsicles, stitching their costumes, smiling through the pain. My shoes still tore, my wallet stayed thin, but my kids gave me purpose. I kissed their foreheads, promising, we're enough. I started a small business, Pearls, a corner shop selling popsicles and banana fritters, painted yellow and green. Neighbors lined up, kids laughed, and I found joy in the chaos. I'd sew costumes for their school plays, pack snacks, cheer at their dance recitals. You're my superheroes, I'd tell them, and they'd grin, hugging me tight. 6 years later, Alexander found me at the San Lorenzo Marketplace. I'm sorry, he whispered, tears in his eyes. I was lost, and now I'm home. He saw the twins, his twins, and fell to his knees, overwhelmed. I hesitated but let him in for them. He visited daily, brought books, toys, snacks, and stories. He took them to the park, learned their quirks, Mariah's love for pretending to be a princess, Marcus's hatred for raisins. At the recital, he sat in the middle row, flowers in hand, crying, I miss so much. I softened. You're here now, I said, my voice steady but warm. He'd divorced Stacy, his business marriage wife, and stepped down as CEO, trading skyscrapers for simplicity. Luz tried to interfere, sending a letter hinting at more schemes, but I faced her at her estate. "Stay away from my kids," I warned, standing tall in a clean white blouse. "I'm a mother now. I won't play your games." She scoffed but backed off, her eyes narrowing. Alexander helped at Pearl's, wearing an apron, serving popsicles with a grin. "Big CO, huh?" I teased as he wiped tables. He laughed. "Best job I've ever had." We took the kids to the zoo, laughed over cotton candy, fed ducks by the pond. The twins rode ponies. Alexander carried them on his shoulders, and we took selfies, their smiles brighter than the sun. One night, he gave me a fixed pendant from our past, a heart-shaped piece I'd worn when we first fell in love. "We're not broken anymore," he said. I wore it, tears falling, not from pain, but peace. We rebuilt slowly, no promises, just presents. He'd bring breakfast, pancakes, bacon, orange juice. Crouching to hug the twins as they called him Daddy, we'd sit around the table, Mariah telling stories about her school crush, Marcus munching bacon, and I'd watch, my heart full but guarded. At the school's Parents' Day, we walked the twins on stage, their hands in ours. Teachers smiled, parents watched, and I let myself smile without hesitation. Neighbors whispered, but I didn't care. One night on the porch, I rested my head on his shoulder. "Let's raise our kids," I said. He nodded. "I'll take whatever you give." My shop grew, the twins thrived, and Alexander stayed, his tie crooked, his heart open. We took road trips to small towns, hiked trails, watched the twins chase butterflies. He'd kiss my knuckles under a tree, saying nothing, and I'd smile. I'm at peace. Leap Inspire family, this is my story. From a cashier's smile to a mother's strength, from heartbreak to healing, I learned love is honest, not perfect. I built pearls from pain, raised my kids with love, and found peace with a man who earned his way back. If this story sparked something in you, hit that like button to spread the inspiration and subscribe to Leap Inspire for more tales that ignite your soul. Keep leaping, because your story is worth fighting for.